Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead. Before we get started today, I just wanted to remind you about our Black Friday sale that will be coming up on the Friday after Thanksgiving. It will open at 12:01 on Friday morning, and which is the middle of the night, and it will run for 24 hours. It will close at midnight on Friday night. And everything in our bookstore will be 25% off. And our timing is mountain time. We're in mountain time, so that's your time frame. So it might be a good idea here's the link to our bookstore right here. You may want to jump over to the bookstore and check out what is available. And our videos between now and then are going to feature some of the books. And then also, just a reminder that we have these classes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. I thought we had 12, but it looks like we have 9 of our Rose Red Homestead classes. And these are free. They're about an hour each and go into detail, and each one has a detailed handout that is available on our website. And so you can check out those too. Lots of good information there. So it is fall, heading into winter, heading into the holiday season. And one of the things that gives us a lot of comfort in colder weather is soups. And there are just about a zillion recipes for different kinds of soups. And today we're going to be doing roasted vegetable soup. And I'm not going to give a specific recipe because this is just kind of a clean out your refrigerator and see what you get sort of thing. It accomplishes the purpose of using up vegetables that may have started to be a little bit too long in our refrigerator, turning them, as long as they're still good to eat. Limp carrots might be an example of that. They still have good nutrition, but they just might not work in a salad. Well, they will certainly work as a roasted vegetable. Roasted vegetables are often served as a side dish during this time of year as well. Roasted beets and turnips and parsnips and carrots and potatoes and that kind of thing. The beauty about roasting vegetables is that it changes their taste just a little bit. It brings out what sugar might be included in the vegetable. And when they are roasted, we like to get a few little brownish, blackish edges, and that little bit of roasting also lends a flavor. So we're going to get started on that. And as you can see, I have kind of cleaned out my vegetable bin in my refrigerator. So I have cauliflower, leeks, garlic, sweet potato, a couple of peppers, a couple of zucchinis. Here's a leftover piece of a tomato, celery, carrots, potatoes, and onions. So that's what I have to work with today. Now, the number of the day that we're going to be celebrating is 3. So the way to put these together, there's just kind of a universal recipe, a generalized recipe that you can just jot down. And it's all about 3s. First of all, there are 3 types of ingredients that will go into this. And the first unit is the vegetables. And you can just rock and roll on this any way you want to. I think it is a good idea while we're putting these together to think about how flavors will be blending with one another, and also select things that you like. For instance, Jim and I do not like kale, so we will not be using any kale for our soups. But if you do, then of course that's what you can use as well. And also, the second thing is whatever liquid we are going to be using to make the actual soup part. So I have 3 quarts of my chicken broth over here. You can use vegetable broth, you can use water, you can use tomato juice, you can pretty much use whatever you want to as the liquid ingredient. And then the third thing is whatever mix-ins you want. This would be like extra spices or lemon juice or cream or chives on the top or bacon crumbles on the top, whatever other add-ins you would like to do to flavor or dress up your soup. So those are the 3 classes of ingredients. And then there are 3 steps. So the 3 steps are first to roast the vegetables. Second step is to blend the vegetables with the liquid. and then heat it up a little bit more, let it cook a little bit longer. And then the third step is add your mix-ins. And so this is kind of a make-it-yourself kind of a recipe that you can suit to your own particular tastes. So I also have 3 baking pans that I have right here, baking sheets, that we're going to be using for 3 different kinds of soups. So I'm going to turn this into 3 soups. And so we'll see how this goes. And these are not recipes that I am following. This is my instincts according to what I think goes together here, and then we'll just see what we come up with. So I'm going to prep the vegetables right now and get them on the trays, and when we come back, then we'll talk about what kind of soup each of these trays is going to make. So we will see you shortly. Well, here we are. So I have no idea how these are going to taste, but we're going to find out. So let's go through them. This one is, I had potatoes and I had leeks, so it's kind of a potato leek base with some carrots and celery thrown in. This one is headed by cauliflower with carrots, onions, celery, and these are yellow bell peppers. And then this one, the main ingredient for flavor are the sweet potatoes with onions and zucchini, celery, and some tomatoes. This one I think is going to be quite deep orange, and these 2 will sort of be a pale. Now the next step before we roast is to treat them with some oil and some seasoning. So I am using avocado oil because it has, it does well in high temperatures. So I'm just going to drizzle probably a couple of tablespoons of oil in here. I have cut the vegetables that will probably take longer to cook. I've cut them smaller. The ones that are going to cook faster, I've cut larger. So we'll see how this works. So the next thing to do, oh, and by the way, I have some peeled garlic right here that I'm going to put in about the last 15 minutes to get it roasted, otherwise it's going to burn. So now I'm just going to get that oil distributed among all of these veggies. So I have 3 seasoning combinations here. So this is like one of the add-ins, but I'm going to put this add-in before we roast it so that the veggies can be roasted with the seasonings on the top. This is from Weber. They make grills and a lot of things like rubs. These are for vegetables. They're for anything you want. I'm going to use them for vegetables. And so I'm not going to stir these in because ultimately everything will be gathered up in the soup anyway. I'm just going to sprinkle across the top, and this will give our soup some kind of a punch of flavor. This one is garlic parmesan seasoning, and it smells wonderful. This one is herbes de Provence. It is a French combination that includes thyme, marjoram, rosemary, basil, fennel, sage, and lavender. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. That was a stretch. I have some strong tasting. Some of the vegetables have a stronger taste than others do. And this one, the sweet potatoes have the strongest taste. For this one, it is the cauliflower that has the strong flavor. And for this one, these are all sort of mild with the potatoes, carrots, celery. The leeks will add some of their own flavor. This one doesn't have onions because it has leeks. So these are now going to go in a 425 oven for 20 to 30 minutes until the veggies are done. It is important that we get the veggies done at this point. In the oven these go, and we'll see you when they come out. First to finish was our sweet potato soup. So we are going to put these softened cooked veggies in the blender, a few at a time. sure I didn't catch any foil on that. With a little bit of the chicken broth and blend. Well, we were right about it being a little bit orange. Then we're going to put it in here. And it is going to be a little bit, it's not going to be completely smooth. It's going to have the little bits of these vegetables mixed throughout. Okay, so we can see the whole soup in the pan. I'm going to turn it on. And we're going to mix it together. It's a nice hearty soup. I'm going to pour in a little bit of leftover half and half that I have in the refrigerator that needs to be used up. I could thin it with water, I could thin it with milk. So this makes it a bit of a cream soup. All right, now we have the cauliflower soup, and as you can see, these veggies are roasted with a little bit of tinges of brown and blackish, which is going to give this a wonderful flavor. When these are cooking in the oven, it's really a good idea to check on them often. That was a little piece of the tin foil that we didn't want, so that they don't burn too much. And a little broth. This is smoother. It's a little greenish orange. Not much green. It looks very nice. And we'll just put the rest of our broth in here. No, I'm going to save a little bit. See what this looks like. So this is what this one looks like. And we'll stir it. I'm going to give it a little bit of a taste. Oh, wow. And we'll give it some, in fact, I'll just use the rest of this in here. Now we're going to put this one over on the stove behind me and let it cook 5 to 7 minutes. This is the potato leek, and this is the last batch. I've done the other 2 batches, and this one got a little bit too brown. I think it will be okay. I was hoping that it would be a lighter color. It's going to be hard to tell these soups apart when we get done because of the orangeness of the carrot. So here it is, and I am going to add a little bit of leftover cream. And this finishes up my cream and half supply in my refrigerator that have been hanging out in there for a week or so. This is quite thick. All of these soups are quite thick, but the beauty is you can make them to your liking. by adding whatever other liquid you might want to. So this is going on for another 5 to 7 minutes. And we will be back when these are ready to taste, and I'll show you what toppings I would use on each one. All three have finished simmering and are now ready to dish up. So I have, because they all look very similar, I have little sticky notes on the back here identifying which one is which. Some of you may have seen that I had a quart of white beans, and the reason that I had those, just in case, was that these home canned beans, or any beans like this out of a can, white beans in particular, are great if you are short on vegetables, if you want to add more protein to your soup, if you need more volume of soup, you can put a scoop of those beans in and thin the soup to however you want. Run those through the blender as well, and that will add extra protein. But we didn't need to do that. The soups are plenty thick just as they are. So I have arranged the bowls kind of in the same configuration so that I can keep them straight. And what I'm going to do is just dish up a little bit in each of these white bowls so that we can see the color variation. And then I'm going to add the add-ins. Then we'll invite Jim to come around and we're going to do a taste test, and he can figure out which one of these he wants for his lunch, and so will I. So first up is the cauliflower soup. And what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to just sprinkle a tiny bit of thyme on the top. And this is the sweet potato soup, and it is in this position. So just a little bit of a taste here. And for this one, I'm going to put just a little dollop of Greek yogurt on the top. And I'll just do a dab for this little dab. And then from my herb garden, I'm going to snip some fresh chives on it. And this is the potato leek soup. And with the potato leek soup, I'm going to sprinkle on just a little bit of cheddar cheese and some bacon bits. All right, so let's get a close-up of these. So this one is the cauliflower. The middle one is the sweet potato. And then this one is the potato leek. So Jim is going to come around and we're going to do a taste test. Okay, so let's start with the cauliflower.
Taste some of the spices that you did before.
I do too. It's surprisingly sweet.
It is.
I like it a lot. I can't taste the
I
cauliflower.
was going to say that too.
And it's a nice blend, though.
Yeah.
It's very light. And also we could squeeze some lemon juice in some of these as well to give it a different flavor. So this middle one now is the sweet potato. Let's see how it does. I'm going to just get a little tad of the garnishing here.
It's milder than the other.
I can taste the sweet potato in this one,
I can't.
but it's a really nice blend.
Oh, it is a nice blend.
And overall, I think it's a very yummy soup.
It is. It'll work.
Okay, the last one is the potato leek.
Potato and the leek, definitely, for sure.
Oh, it is fantastic, I think.
I didn't get any of the bacon bits, but I'm sure it's there.
This is my favorite. What about you? Which one do you want for lunch?
The bacon bits.
You want the cheese and the bacon mix.
Absolutely.
The soup is just a garnish.
Absolutely.
Oh, Jim.
doubt.
Okay, so I'm going to dish up your lunch. So here you go.
That's enough.
Okay. And then we'll put some cheese here. Is this enough cheese?
Yes.
There we go. Okay, so there's Jim's lunch. And for my lunch, I'm going to finish these two, and then I'll probably have another scoop of the potato leek. So here's what I've learned. If you put carrots in things, it's going to turn it orange. So if you want a white soup, leave out the carrots and just go with the very light colored vegetables. I think that the cauliflower would have been great, a better, much lighter color than what it turned out to be if we had left out the carrots. But I love the taste, and the carrots bring a little bit of sweetness to a soup, and so I do like that as well. But this was a lot of fun. And remember, it's 3 and 3. 3 types of ingredients, which includes the roasted vegetables, the liquid, whatever you're going to do, and then your add-ins. And we added in on all of these a little bit of oil and spices to help along with the roasting, and then some individual things as well. But they're just a myriad of things that you could put. You know what would really go great on top of the cauliflower soup, I think, is some of our dehydrated caramelized onions.
Oh, that would be nice.
I think, in fact, that's what I'm going to do for lunch.
And some of the beans would be nice too.
Yeah, the beans would be really nice. So the process is also 3 steps. First, you roast the vegetables. Second, you blend them up. And then third, you let them simmer for an additional 5 to 7 minutes and put your add-ins in. So that's all there is to it. So this was a very fun experiment for us. Now, and I'm going to try some of these caramelized onions on the top of my cauliflower soup. So I'm going to break them up a little bit. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So I'm just going to take a little taste of that with the caramelized onions. Winner, winner. Oh, that is yummy. So hope you try some veggie soups of your own this way. You actually don't have to blend them. If you don't like a smooth soup like this, you can leave them chunky if you wish, and then add your liquids. An added bonus for us in making 3 at the same time is we have a lot of leftover soup, as you see with the pots that are now over here on my stove. And what are we going to do with that leftover soup? Why, freeze it, of course. We will freeze it, and they freeze just beautifully. So that's another plus. Turn this into whatever you want. The idea is to use what we have in our refrigerator and to roast those vegetables for increased flavor. So thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you very soon for You Got It, more videos.